It's historic.
Yeah.
I didn't even think it was old in the country. You can put it on the back of the toonie.
Yeah. Who just got on the $10 bill? Didn't someone else just get up on there? A woman, I think? Get her out of there, you know? Get the Wheat Sheaf up there.
Can she contribute more to Canada than Wheat Sheaf?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, motherfucker. We're gonna take it up a few notches right now. See if y'all can keep up. Wanna give a motherfucker sucker, put your hand up.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 61 of the ScruffCast. I'm John.
And I'm Dan.
Now, if our audio sounds a little strange, it's because we've been working out some technical difficulties. And it is now almost 11:30 at night. And we were like, well, this is as good as it's getting, so this is what you guys are getting.
This is the best you're getting. So right now, John's pretty much eating his microphone, and I'm standing about 3 feet away from mine, so... We'll see how this works.
Just putting the disclaimer out there.
Yeah. Whatever happened last week with our guest Ian's voice has come into this week's episode as well.
Yeah, last week we were a little unsure. We thought maybe his volume track was a little lower, so I actually went through, edited it, boosted the volume, and I still got complaints from the listeners.
Oh, I thought he was just talking quietly.
I thought so too.
That's actually what I thought. But
now this week we are a little unsure. But anyways, technical difficulties aside, we're back for another week. I thought we said we were going to stop saying we're back.
Oh, well, here we are. But you know when we won't be back? Next week.
Yes. Putting another disclaimer out there. We are skipping next week because we're doing the 4th annual ScruffCast golf trip. So there will be no podcast because we'll be too busy golfing, forgetting all about you guys.
That's right.
Unless you email us while we're away.
Yeah, that would be nice, actually.
Yeah.
Well...
Speaking of emails, Dan.
Yeah, well, first off, let's kick things off with our question to ponder from last week.
Oh, yes. The question to ponder was, we forgot to give you a question to ponder.
We did. We totally forgot.
I went to go edit the show after, sat down, looked through the notes, and there was no question to ponder anywhere in there. And I was like, oh, man.
So, this week we do have a question to ponder, though.
Yes.
So, you'll get one at the end of the episode. Just wait for it, obviously.
Every 60 episodes, we skip the question to ponder.
Yeah. So, at 120, we'll also skip it.
Yep.
If everybody keeps listening till then. All right. We do have an email, though.
We do.
Regarding the top 5 from last week, which was favorite movies, right?
Correct.
That was a good one. I enjoyed that one.
They emailed us at scruffcast@gmail.com, just like you listeners can, or follow us on Twitter at scruffcast.
That's right.
And what did the listener have to say?
Okay. This week's top 5. Hi, guys. Another good show this week. With a welcome new voice and new perspective. Thank you, Ian. Just thinking about my top 5 movie list. It may be different from yours, being that I'm a female and of a different generation, but here it goes. Number 5, Couples Retreat.
I don't think that would be necessarily from a different generation. The movie's not.
I'm looking at all these movies, and they're from our generation.
Yeah.
Number 4, Home Alone 2. Fantastic movie. Now, what's funny is, like, usually sequels and stuff aren't as good as originals, right? But I think that's like the one exception almost.
I feel like there's probably more exceptions.
There probably is. But like Home Alone 2 is superior to Home Alone 1. Home Alone 1's still good.
As a kid, I was a fan of the probably straight to VHS release Home Alone 3.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
I don't think it was better than
I think I saw it once.
The first two, but I like that one.
Home Alone 2 is my favorite out of all of them. There's like Home Alone 50 now. Like it's just
Home Alone 2 is Lost in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't even make that kind of movie now.
Yeah. Oh, the kid's home alone. Where's Child Protector? Well, no, you know what? Because there's just cell phones now. You'd have no way of being like...
It is true.
Where is he?
Yeah, they're like in...
You just check your like Find My Family app on iPhone.
I know. They're in like, wherever they're on the plane. They could just like check their camera, their Rogers cameras at home. Oh, Johnny's still at home. Jesus. We left him there. All right. Number 3, Pirates of the Caribbean. The entire franchise, but if I had to choose one, it would be the original.
You do have to choose a listener.
You do have to choose one.
We don't let just whole franchise.
Maybe one day we'll do favorite or top 5 franchises, but not today. Number 2, Anchorman.
The listener wrote this, The Anchorman.
I don't think it's called The Anchorman. Considering it's your second favorite movie, you should know the title. Number 1, Zoolander. Not a fan personally of those last 2 movies, but
I like Anchorman. I like Zoolander.
Anchorman was okay.
I wouldn't put them like above the likes of the movies we pick, like Inception and Wolf of Wall Street.
No, definitely not. But that's okay.
But you know what, listeners? We're not here to critique your
It's tough. It's your own. It's your own. Whatever you want.
We're just saying that we thought ours were a little better. Well, that's fine. We appreciate you writing in.
Yeah.
And please continue to do so.
Honorable mention must go to Daddy's Home 1 and 2 and 21 Jump Street. Interesting. Yeah. Those are... I haven't seen Daddy's Home 2, but Daddy's Home 1 was way better than I expected it to be. I actually thought it was really funny.
They're both good. I believe we talked about... I talked about it on... when we did
a different podcast you're doing?
Yeah. when we did our top 5 actors or actresses, and I picked an honorable mention for Mel Gibson.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy's Home too.
Yeah.
He does a great job in that.
And 21 Jump Street's also fantastic. So it's 22 Jump Street. They're both funny. Animated movies needs a top 5 list of their own.
I like that idea.
I agree. We'll do that. Looking forward to next week's show. Signed, a faithful listener in Etobicoke. All right.
Thank you, listener.
There we go. Top 5.
All right.
Now, we're just going to get right into it here.
Let's look at our show notes here.
Okay. Well, first off, did you hear about the Area 51 raid? That now it's up to 1 million people.
I have heard this. So
I have agreed to go raid Area 51 on Facebook.
Inform the listeners here.
Okay. So from what I can remember, someone started a Facebook group, apparently to try to, like, they said, like, oh, we're going to raid Area 51. And their whole thing is, like, you know, if there's so many of us, they can't stop us all. We're going to get in there. We're going to find those aliens. That's, like, their whole thing. So now it's, like, up to 1 million people have said they're going to attend this event. Now, I mean, like I don't think 1 million people are going to show up, but, like, there's going to be some crazies, I think, that actually, like, go through with it.
Oh, most definitely. If you have 1% of these people are like, oh, they're dead set on going.
Yeah.
1% of 1 million is what, like 10,000 people?
Yeah.
So, dude,
that's a lot of people.
10,000 is still a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Versus, you know, the United States military or whatever sort of defenses they have there.
And, like, I think this started from, like, a very serious place. I think it started from someone, like, dead serious about it.
You know what?
But it's turned into, like, a meme now. Like, now it's, like, turned into, like, something funny.
I will say, it has been great for the memes.
Yeah, it has been good.
The way I said that made it sound like I'm, like, out of touch. For, you know, the memes.
The memes. That's like James here on the podcast.
Those memes. Hey, Jean, what's a meme? No, Dad, it's a meme. It's from people going to Area 51.
A meme.
Area 51? What do you mean Area 51? No, my house number is 45. Or whatever. No, Dad.
No, forget it. Doesn't
you know where the UFOs are? No. You mean what? When they land on the moon? I don't know. Yeah, it's been good for the memes. And I agree. I do feel like it started in a serious place. You know what? It was probably one guy sitting around drinking with his buddies. And he's like, you know what? I bet you if we got enough people, they couldn't stop us all. We can get into Area 51. But he's like, no way.
Now, do you think they actually could, though? Let's say 100,000 people show up.
Dude, 100,000. So
100,000 people roll up to Area 51 and just charge in. Do you think they could stop 100? Now, okay, so I read an article earlier today, actually, that the U.S. like Air Force is like prepared to stop them. Yeah, this is like a big deal now. All of a sudden, right?
Here's the thing: could they stop 100,000 people? It depends on how far does the U.S. want to push it.
Exactly, because they could just start dropping bombs. Realistically, right? Like,
do they roll
mowing people down? Yeah.
Then they're going to stand no chance, right?
Like, this isn't like, what's that movie, like Zombie World, that one with Brad Pitt, where the zombies are like creating a chain to climb up the wall.
World War Z.
World War Z, you know? This isn't that.
No, but like, it depends, because, if the U.S. wants to use, like, you know, aggressive force, they could deal with 100,000 people. But if they, you know, try to be as reserved as possible, obviously you don't want to just like butcher your own citizens.
Yeah, those people are getting in there.
100,000 people is a lot of people.
Yeah, 10,000 is a lot.
Dude, that's probably like 10% of the whole listener base of our show.
Oh, yeah. Like, you know, like, that's... I think it's fascinating. But, like, like, speaking of Area 51, what do you think is in Area 51? Like, what do you think Area 51 is all about? Are you one of the people that are like, oh, yeah, there's aliens in there? Because, you know, there's the whole thing of, like, the Roswell crash, like, the UFO crash, was it back in the 50s? I think it was in the mid-50s or something like that, and they took the claim is they took that UFO to Area 51 and they did all their testing and they did all these tests and they're taking the technology from it to use it in their own like military stuff.
So my thought process is I don't believe that, we've been visited by aliens or, UFOs. I don't really believe in any of that stuff. Now, some people have some, creepy stories, right? But I don't really buy it. So that's kind of a whole other topic on its own, which I don't know if we've talked about on the podcast before or not. But they're definitely up to something there that they don't want the public to see.
Well,
they're willing to be like, hey, we got our Air Force ready.
It was only since 2013 that the Pentagon even acknowledged its existence.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Only since 2013 that they were even like, oh yeah, there's a base there, Area 51. I
wonder though because nothing leaks out of there, right? People talk about there's. What's it called?
No, there's never there's the odd person who comes out. I used to be really into alien stuff. I used to watch lots of documentaries, and there's there's the stories of ex-workers who've worked there, and then they come out and they want their faces blurred and stuff, and then they tell their stories about Area 51, and then 3 days later they died of a heart attack. Stuff like that.
There's always sort of strange stories like this, right?
Of course, it could all just be for show, for TV, right? But I want to believe it because I like that stuff, especially when it comes to aliens. I love it.
They go and they get the interview, right? It's just a shadowed figure, and they have the voice, and they're like,
I used to work at Area 51.
The things they had hidden there were unbelievable. You'll never know. And then just snipe through the window.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I do want to believe it, because it's all so crazy. The people that get transported there from the Las Vegas airport, with this unmarked plane, people who work there. Really? It looks like a commercial plane, yeah, and it takes off and then lands at Area 51, and that's how people get to work every day.
Well, you'd have to be stationed on the base, right?
What do you mean?
Do you just enter and then leave the same day? Or you're probably
I think so.
Week-long shifts?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know they're brought from the Las Vegas airport. Because there's video footage of the plane being filmed, taking off. It's literally has no markings on it. It's got on the tail, I guess, the thing. It has some numbers and plane number, and that's it.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
I didn't know this.
I like it all. I like it.
I do like this whole idea of they can't stop all of us.
I do like it too.
And I like how it started off as something that was kind of a joke. Maybe it was a little serious, whatever, and then grew into this huge thing.
I really want to see them try to go through with it. I don't want to be a part of it. I just want to see people go through it. Because either way, it's going to be fantastic. If they do go through with it and they get in, it's going to be really cool. Or if they get just plowed down by the whole government, that's also going to be pretty fascinating. As evil as that sounds, right?
You know what? If it would be people getting plowed down by the government would hide that. There's no way you'd know, right?
Oh God, you'd have to know because this is such a big thing reported all over the internet now.
I guess. Well, now we live in an age where you can
you could take out a couple people who try to sneak onto the base without anybody knowing.
You could wear a GoPro on your head and then
live stream stuff right to Facebook or YouTube. Right?
Yeah, once it's on the internet, you can't take it down.
Uncontrollable.
Not even the United States government.
Now, this raid is supposed to happen at 3 a.m. on September 20th.
Okay, I knew there was a date picked in September. I didn't know there was a time picked as well. So 3 a.m. Interesting.
Yeah. So that's a Friday. So September 25th, we'll have an update on the podcast about it.
Because that's the Wednesday?
That'll be the Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Everybody's already going to know about it anyway, probably, but
we'll be the breaking news.
We'll be the breaking news 5 days later.
I do wonder, though, because now that they have the date and the specific time out there, the government's going to be, ready. Well, here's
do they pull a fast one and come the day earlier?
They should, but then how do you rally the troops?
I know, yeah. You have to have a separate group.
100,000 people? Yeah,
you got to have the separate DM group that are okay, for those who are serious, come join, Stacy's mom's cooking classes.
Yeah,
it's a little side thing.
And then the recipes are the code words, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're the directions there. Yeah,
exactly.
The plans.
And then there's a second group, another hidden group, which tells you how to decipher the recipes into the actual plans. Right?
It's just this never-ending chain of.
Yeah. Interesting. I would like to see them try to pull a fast one.
That would be awesome. I want to see what happens. I'm so curious to see what happens in this whole thing.
Yeah.
In general, I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
The internet is a wild place. It's like the Wild West, man.
It is.
One guy had this idea and it just grown into this huge thing, and now I'm just seeing memes everywhere online.
Yeah, it's like internet was one thing, and then social media is like almost a whole separate entity.
Yeah.
Where it's just crazy. Where stuff can be organized like this.
It is.
Like, you can literally, like, start, like, a coup. You know what I mean?
Well, it's
revolt against the government.
In, like, other parts of the world.
Turkey and stuff like that.
Yeah, but then some of those countries try to, like, shut it down, right?
Yeah, then you get censorship with the internet and stuff, which
Exactly.
is also not good, probably.
No. Definitely interesting.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully update that at some point.
Keep your eyes peeled for updates to that. All right. Moving on here.
Oh.
I had a note here to just do a little shout out, right? So, here in Toronto, there's this this bar, this, pub style restaurant called the Wheat Sheaf that we like to hit up and get their chicken wings from time to time.
Which I think we've mentioned on the podcast before.
Have we?
The Wheat Sheaf.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I think we've come back from getting wings and talked about it on the podcast a little bit.
Fantastic wings. We've been there quite a few times.
And we found out about it from my dad.
Yes.
Because he used to work not too far from there, I guess, and they would go there a lot.
Yes. Shout out to Papa Dan.
Yeah.
For letting us know about this. But it's with sad news we bring you today. We give you another shout out. Or the reason we're giving the shout out is because...
Pouring one out for another homie.
Pouring one out for the homie. After 170 years, the Wheat Sheaf is shutting down.
Sad. It's like...
It's like the end of
so
an era.
sad, yeah.
It is
And it closed down yesterday. So Sunday.
Yes, we're recording this Monday the 15th. And
there's some people who listen to this that we've been to the Wheat Sheaf with.
Yes.
And I haven't told them about it. So they'll hear it first here. So this is kind of
breaking news.
This is kind of breaking
news.
news.
Give credit. I actually found this out through a news article sent to me by my girlfriend, who hasn't even ever been to the Wheat Sheaf, doesn't even care.
But she knows you like the Wheat
She found
Sheaf.
the article and she sent it to me, and I was like, what? No.
Yeah, and then you sent it to me, and I kind of had that same reaction.
So the place has been open for 170 years. They're actually shutting it down, so they laid off all the employees. They shut it down, and they're going to renovate it, remodel it inside. And then it will reopen as presumably an entirely different restaurant, right?
Well,
they're trying to modernize it a little. I don't know if it'll be under new ownership or whatever, but it's going to be a new staff.
Apparently it's going to be the same name.
They're going to call it the Wheat Sheaf?
Yeah, my mom read a little bit more about it today, and she sent us a message. It's going to be the same name, apparently. But it's never going to be the same.
No, it's not going to be the same. Because is the food going to be the same?
No way.
No way. They're laying off all the staff.
Okay, this is the thing about the Wheat Sheaf is they have the best wings in the city. The best wings I've ever had are from the Wheat Sheaf. They're that good.
Yeah, I would agree.
And it's half price Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Half price wings 3 days of the week. Like,
damn, half price half the week.
It's it's frustrating. Like, the problem is because that area, like King West or whatever, it's becoming a very kind of like a fancy area. You know, you're getting these wine bars and stuff like that, right? Even just across the street, there's that other bar. And it's called Banknote.
That's a fancy thing.
And it looks pretty fancy, right? So just the area is like that, and it's it's out of its element. But I don't know what. Every time we go in there, it's rammed. How many times have we gone in and we go early because you guys get off work and go down there, so we're there by 5:30, 6 o'clock, somewhere in between there, and then by 7, place is rammed.
Exactly.
And it's a good sized place too.
It's
right?
only a matter of time before they're gonna be we shouldn't have changed it because it being old will be cool.
I feel like that's
that already kind of was, yeah.
Now apparently the Wheat Sheaf closed down a while ago too.
This I was unaware of.
For a few years. My dad told me this. 80s or 90s, or I don't know exactly when it was. I'd have to ask him, but it closed down for a little bit as well. I think it was a couple of years. I don't know exactly how long it was for. And then reopened and it was all the same again. So this isn't the first time, but it seems like they actually have a plan to...
It's a big change. Well, the fact that they laid off all the staff and they're that's the thing too. They said, they're closing it down, and there's it's just closed indefinitely. There's no set date.
Yeah, for anything else to open.
Listeners who've never been there or don't ever plan on going there.
Well, yeah, it's too late now.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Well, it's too late now. We've got to give a shout out and pour one out for the homie.
The Wheat Sheaf.
The Wheat Sheaf.
170 years strong.
That's imagine we have 100.
Is that not older than the country?
Yeah, it is actually. Well, yeah. Yeah, 1849 would be 170 years ago.
Wow.
Damn, this place is older than Canada. You got the native Indians sitting there eating chicken wings. Shutting it down. Dude, we need to get our people in contact with the government. stop the shutdown. It should be like a historic site, shouldn't it?
I think it should. 170 years. That's insane. You sure it's 170?
Dude.
I know it's like 18 something it was.
Dude, put it on the $10 bill.
It's the oldest bar. It was the oldest bar in the city.
That I believe. 170, yeah. You're right. It is older than...
Because we just had 150 a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Sad.
It's like... I'm pretty hurt by it. I'm not going to lie. Those were great wings. Like, fantastic. We'll never have them again. I don't remember the last time we went.
I don't think we've been this year.
Man, I moved back to Brampton, so it was a little harder, to come out here all the time. Yeah, I think the last time I was there was like last summer. That's sad.
Imagine we have 170 episodes of this show.
Yeah.
And then we're just like, oh, by the way, shutting down.
Laying off each other.
It comes back in 3 months as bits and bites. You'll be like, no, I don't want bits and bites.
I want the ScruffCast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. It is what it is. We move on. We find a new wing place, I guess. Who's got decent wings? St. Louis Bar and Grill. Considering they're just a restaurant.
Yeah, it's like a chain, right? But this had that,
I know.
Had that sort of...
Yeah, well, I know. I got you, man.
Authentic feel, It had the guy with the waiter with the goatee and the shaved head.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's that guy.
Then they had the other guy who was I think he was super Italian, maybe? I don't even know what he was, but just what do you guys want?
Yeah.
I was just
what you're talking about.
It was one of those places.
He almost looks like he'd be the cousin of the cake boss guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sad. It's a good place. Yeah, you don't sit there and wait for a table. You just go and sit,
Anybody who hasn't been there can't relate to this part of the podcast. No, but you know what? The Wheat Sheaf deserves its respect. It's historic.
Yeah.
I didn't even think it was old in the country. You put it on the back of the toonie.
Yeah. Who just got on the $10 bill? Didn't someone else just get up on there? A woman, I think?
I don't know.
Get her out of there, Get the Wheat Sheaf.
Has she contributed more to Canada than the Wheat Sheaf?
Not a chance.
I think so.
Not a chance. Oh, all right, well, that's it. Let's wrap up the Wheat Sheaf talk because I'm getting hungry and sad.
Yeah. All right. What else we got in the notes here? So, Dan, you had a bit of a gripe related to TV shows.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a gripe, but okay.
A question that you've been...
Yeah, so I'll start off. I finished Stranger Things 3, or Season 3. I finished it. Now, I'm not gonna spoil. There's gonna be no spoilers.
I haven't even started.
You haven't watched it. There's no spoilers, so don't worry. I'm not gonna say anything. But it got me thinking. And it has nothing to do with the way the show ended. It has nothing to do with anything. Now, obviously, for those who don't know, there will be a Season 4.
Yeah, I believe they said the original plan is...
Yeah, and this is common knowledge. This has nothing to do with the end of this season. It was already planned. There's gonna be Season 4 and possibly Season 5. So it got me thinking. Do TV series drag on too long? And now... I know that's the common thing people always say, they should have stopped a few seasons earlier, right? Oh, instead of doing 10, they should have done 8. But I'm talking what if a series is 2 seasons? I think of I know we tend to agree on a lot of stuff, and I 100% agree on this. You know what I mean? Because I watched that show, The Haunting of Hill House.
It was on a top 5.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. And that was just one season. At the time, they said that's all they were planning on doing. I think they're doing a second season now, which I'll still watch. But just that one season, boom, dynamite. Why even bother? Don't even do anything else. Just that was a great season. Let's just let that be on its own, right? And this is Stranger Things too, right? Season 1 was great. Season 2 was great. Season 3 was also great. But that's it. I'm good. I don't need any more now. Of course, the way. No, I'm not gonna say anything. But it's just, I think that's it. I don't think there needs to be more. I think they could have wrapped up the story, which they obviously didn't do, right? They obviously leave it open-ended, just like they do the rest of the seasons, right?
Yeah. If they knew, now I haven't seen it, of course, but if they knew that would be the final season, it would have affected how they, wrote the season, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? So you plan it a 3-season thing, right? Okay, this is going to happen here, this is going to happen here. Because, Season 1 was, the kid gets, whatever. And then the end of Season 1, he's got that little bug that pops back out of his mouth. It's oh, Jesus, it's back! And then they defeat it again, and then Season 2, you still have that mind flare, over the high school or the elementary school.
Yeah, so I will say, not getting, too into the weeds of, Stranger Things specifically.
Yeah.
But, this is a show where, after I watched the second season, and we talked about this, I think, on our second ever episode, where we went in depth on Stranger Things.
Which is crazy that the newest season only just came out now.
I know, we've done 60 episodes. Once I get through season 3, maybe we'll do like an in-depth discussion like that.
Yeah.
Because those are on both of our top 5 TV show lists.
I don't think I had it on mine. I think I didn't put it on there only because they took too long to put this.
Oh yes,
yeah.
You put it as an honorable mention.
I think I did. Yeah.
But regardless, that was a show where I thought like, oh, they could have just wrapped it up nicely. Season 2 could be done. You don't need to follow these kids through whatever.
No. And I would have been okay with a season 3 and end it there. I would have been okay with that.
And you said something earlier, which is like, why can't they just leave it as it is?
Yeah.
And that's something I totally agree with, because now you're starting to see reboots and like live action remakes of all these Disney movies.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're remaking The Lion King, which like, people have been like, oh, it looks kind of strange or whatever. We talked before about Aladdin and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, why can't they leave things alone? They were like, oh, let's bring back Ghostbusters, and they brought back Ghostbusters, and then it got like totally panned, and then
you name it. They bring
like
back
Men in Black. They're bringing back a new movie, and I don't know, watch the trailer, and
I'm not interested.
Doesn't look that great. Independence Day. They were like, oh, let's make another Independence Day.
Brutal, yeah, it's terrible.
And then I didn't even watch it, but I just heard it was just garbage. It's like, why can't they leave stuff alone?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
And you don't need to milk it for all it's worth. I actually saw a tweet linked to that was linking to an article. I didn't read the article.
Yeah.
I just read the tweet. But it had a screenshot of a snippet of the article saying that Netflix basically, they look at the analytics on how their shows perform and what they do. And about 2 seasons is like the ideal length for their original series, because after 2 seasons, they tend to see a drop-off on people, like, watching the series.
Interesting.
Right? And that's also when the showrunners of the series want to, start making more money. So it becomes more costly for the shows to be
makes
produced
sense, yeah.
at the same time they see the drop-off, which is kind of shitty for, like, people creating the shows. But it's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I can see from Netflix's perspective, especially when they're, like, cranking out tons of content.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, there's so many things. Like, you have, like, movies to watch, TV shows to watch, books to read, video games to play, podcasts like ScruffCast reviews on iTunes to listen to, right? There's so much stuff to do that, like, I don't need, like, a 10-season show.
Yeah.
Just give me, like, 2 seasons, and then that's perfect.
And especially, like, a show like Stranger Things, right? Where it's like season 1 and season 2 dealt with the same thing, essentially, right?
Yeah, it was almost like its own little arc.
Yeah. And so it's like a extended movie. That's kind of what it is, right?
Exactly. Right?
So it's like an extended movie. So like 2 seasons is good. You can get a lot in those 2 seasons. I'll give you that. Like, you can do it, and you don't need any more. Because like the 3rd season now it still deals with the same kind of thing, but it also trails off a bit. I'm not gonna give anything away, but it trails off and kind of does something different as well, which I think will continue on into the next season.
Yeah.
Which is still interesting. Don't get me wrong. Like, I still enjoy the whole season, like probably just as much as the other ones. It was still like, it's that good. It's still really good. But like I was just kind of thinking, like, I don't need more necessarily. I'll still watch it when it comes out. Yeah. But if they ended it all right here, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I'd be okay with it.
I get what you're saying, because it's like, sure, you can always have more, right? You can always just extend a show or a story, or maybe you're interested in that universe, right? Like, I loved Game of Thrones. Right? They could have done like 20 seasons of that show. Right? By season 20, would I have been all for it? Probably not. It's a long time. Right?
Yeah.
It's a common complaint I hear about The Walking Dead, which I've never actually watched, but I heard in the beginning it was really good.
And then it just goes on.
And then as it went on, it just started to kind of.
Because like those kind of shows like have an end, right? Or it's like you get a sitcom like a Friends, like a Seinfeld, like a How I Met Your Mother. There's no end. It's just like a funny comedy show where they're just in situations, right? It's like,
that's why it's called a sitcom,
yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
And then that's why they always have a hard time coming up with a satisfying finale for those type of shows.
Exactly, because how do you end those? It's like, because those shows can just go on forever because they're just, a new situation. Oh, some news happening this episode. And that's fine, because there's no real big story. There's like an underlying story kind of, that trails probably from season 1 to the end, kind of.
Yeah, things change along the way.
Like every show, like How I Met Your Mother was Ted finally meeting the mother. That was the end game, right? Which probably has a little bit more of an end game than any other any other sitcom in a sense,
that's
right?
Fair.
But like Friends, for example, I never watched Seinfeld, so I can't really say anything about that.
Seinfeld's fantastic.
But like Friends, you know what I mean? At the beginning, like kind of the first season, they tease like a Ross and Rachel getting together, kind of thing, right? And the whole 10 seasons goes on, and in the end, they finally get back together. So there is that, but like the in between, there's so much you can do, right? So you don't necessarily. Need to do something short for that.
Think of a show like The Simpsons. How are they going to end that? Dude,
I don't know. They
like
just can't. They just have to get
seasons.
canceled. That's it. Like, they just have to get canceled.
Oh, they're gonna just have to tweet some nasty stuff and then get canceled.
That's it. Oh, yeah.
That's the way you get canceled nowadays.
Now, another thing I was thinking, like, also thinking about, there was also something else I thought of, too. And I mentioned it to Anna as we were watching Stranger Things. We were like, I don't know, a couple episodes in or whatever. And I said to her, I want one of these people to die.
You know why?
You know what I mean?
The stakes.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta get invested.
Because I'm not, like, I'm sitting there watching this show, and, like, I know, like, apparently, I never watched Game of Thrones, but I know apparently that was, like, a little different. Because, they killed a lot of main characters off.
It broke a lot of the conventions.
Which is cool. Yeah,
you start watching the show, and you're like, oh, wow, this person's important.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to be following their story. And then, boom, character gets killed. And you're like, oh, shit. Okay.
Exactly,
well, I wasn't expecting that. Because, so it's the term, like, plot armor is what I've heard. Because it's like the characters are protected, they're armored, by the fact that they're central to the plot.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, like, one of the things I always think about is, like, superhero movies. You're watching, like, Captain America, and maybe he's fighting against somebody, he's like dangling off a cliff, and you're like, oh no, like Captain America. Not for 1 second in that movie are you thinking Captain America's going to slip off the cliff and die.
Especially when you're 45 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
45 minutes into a 2-hour movie, you know he's going to be just fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like that sort of stuff.
But there does have to be some stakes, and especially in a show like Stranger Things. I know it's like terrible to say, kill one of those kids.
Dude, it would get people invested. The problem is...
Because then it's like, Jesus Christ,
spoiled on
they
Twitter.
killed a kid?
Yeah.
Like, that'd be insane. So, there's a spoiler. They don't kill a kid in season 3 either. But, you know what I mean?
But you wouldn't expect it
anyway. Because that show doesn't necessarily break those conventions either, right? But, like, I know you talked about it before with, like, Avengers and Infinity War. And at the end of Infinity War...
Spoilers if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
it's like 4 years ago. Actually, that was last year. Dude...
because it wasn't that long ago.
The universe is huge.
I know.
It was like it was a long time ago.
Thanos snaps them all away, and then and that's kind of it. The movie ends, right?
Obviously, on the planet turned to dust, including some of the superheroes.
Obviously, there's going to be a second part of that movie, so whatever. But like, why can't more stuff end like that?
Dude,
like
at
the end of Stranger Things, let's say season 3, if like they didn't defeat whoever it was, and the evil took over all of Hawkins, you know what I mean? And then that was it. And maybe some of the kids died, and then that was it. It was just a very bleak ending. Why can't it just end like that?
Because stuff doesn't... Yeah, dude. Stuff doesn't end like that.
I think it'd be fascinating.
I would love it. Okay? If Thanos snapped, and then it's like, half the universe... Poof, and it's like...
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like that show, Haunting on a Hill House. It was like... I thought out of anything, that could be a show where they would go that route. Just the way the show was done. There was a lot of, like, death in the show. But it still kind of had a somewhat happier ending in the end. Not happy,
I bet it's...
But like a closing, like a closure type thing, right?
Of course, you want some sort of closure, right? You don't want it to be like mid-sentence, like, it's done.
But like Sopranos.
Imagine, okay, Thanos snaps his fingers, poof, half the universe is dead, and then that's it. You're like, wow, they really ended that way. 10 years later, they come back.
They drop Endgame.
Yeah, well, maybe they recorded it right after the fact. I don't know. But
no, I know what you mean, though.
10 years go by, and then they come back. You'd be like, oh,
damn,
man.
That'd be crazy, yeah.
That'd be unreal. But the problem is, it's a long-term thing, and it, there's some risk and stuff. And
of course.
With the Marvel movies, in particular, it's kind of different because those things just like print money. But like, imagine, you had the balls to make a story like that where you're just like, nope, that's it, and then like.
That's it.
10 years later.
Yeah, I think that'd be crazy.
Like Stranger Things,
absolute crazy.
Yeah. Maybe things look grim, and you're like, oh shit. 10 years later, the kids are all adults. It comes back. It's like, oh snap.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like It. The movie
It,
right? Like the original. I don't know what the book is like, but like the original made-for-TV movie they made. It was like a 4-hour thing, right? And like half of it's their kids, half of it they're older. And that's essentially what they're doing now.
Making a part 2 of the movie.
Yeah. So same kind of thing, but you
drop
it 10 years later.
Yeah,
damn.
They're afraid to take the risk. How cool would that be? Because nobody does stuff like that.
Nobody does stuff like that. Yeah, a bleak ending, like kill a ton of the main characters.
Like sometimes you can get a bittersweet ending, right? Things are sad, character dies, whatever. But
of course, yeah, you get that. You get it from time to time.
But you always get the happy endings, which is why the sad endings or bittersweet endings or whatever. Like the good guy, always ends up winning, which is why when they don't, then it's like, oh.
I want a show to end, and I think to myself like, are you serious? Like that's what I want to think. Like
what the hell was that all for?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. Almost though, right? Like I don't want to sit there Because so often you sit there and just be like, okay, all right, good. I'm happy that's how it all ended. I don't want to be happy that's how it ended, because that's not like maybe it's just shock value, but even like Sons of Anarchy was a little more like that, where like the main character, he kills himself in the end, right? He tried. Huh?
I said spoilers.
Oh my god, the show ended like 5 years ago.
There's gonna be one listener like 3 years from now.
You gotta be
kidding me. I'm catching up on the podcast.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and he drives his motorcycle right into the front of a pickup truck, like a semi, right? And that's the way that ends.
See, but
that was like, I remember sitting there just like in shock, like what? But like you realize in that show, there's no other outcome for him, right? Like it's kind of it.
The thing is, like with bleak endings like that, you got to do it like carefully, right? You don't want it to be like How I Met Your Mother, and it's like everything's gonna work out happy. Goes across the road, boom, gets smoked by a bus, and you're like
Ted gets murdered or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's like oh damn,
that's not how I expected
that. That would suck. It's not satisfying.
No, I would love for him to not meet the mother, and he just lives a lonely life the rest of his life. And those kids that he sees in the beginning, like they're just like a figment of his imagination.
Oh, dude, see that would have
been crazy.
That would have been a crazy ending.
Yeah,
I feel like that.
But it's risky. That's a super risky thing.
I feel like the show's a little too upbeat.
Of course, yeah, they would never do that, but because that would just be weird if they did that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Really? Like that's how they ended?
Yeah. Get people talking about it though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe once you watch Stranger Things, we give it a few weeks. We'll talk about it a little more.
Yeah. I'm currently working my way through The Expanse.
I'm currently working my way through nothing.
Well, you just finished Stranger Things.
Which is super easy to watch. It's only 8 episodes. That's what I think. It takes like 2 years to make 8 episodes. You kidding me?
Yeah, why did they wait? It was originally delayed, right?
Because I think they want to like make the story better or something like that. I read like the studio wanted to shoot 3 and 4 one right after the other because the kids are like getting older than their characters are. And then their creators were just like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we want to make sure season 3 is the best it could be.
I could see that.
Apparently, they did. That was it. That was the reason it got delayed because they just weren't totally sold on what they had, I guess. So they kind of reworked it. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think we'll leave it there.
Hey, sometimes we do the grim ending on the podcast. Last week we didn't even give you the question upon it.
Here we go. That's it. All right. So speaking of TV shows and everything.
Yes.
We're going to jump into our top 5. And our top 5 favorite TV characters.
Yes. We've done movies, we've done actors, we've done TV shows. Now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty. The characters.
You know what's funny is like what is this what's our description on like on the podcast pages? It's like ScruffCast talks about
Kalon recommended
current events and
when he was on the podcast.
What?
I took the one Kalon recommended to
us
you changed it? When we said how would you describe yourself?
Yeah.
It used to be Jon and Dan get together each week to talk about current events, tell stories, and talk about sports or something like that.
Yeah, our thing's nothing. We just pretty much talk about movies all the time now. Our top 5s are all that, except for that one time we did fruits, which was that was kind of weird. But
well, we have other non-movie related top 5 ideas.
We do, which we'll get to. But the movie ones are really fun. We enjoy them most.
I believe our description now is Jon and Dan are just a couple of guys who get together each week to make fun of a world that takes itself too seriously, or something like that.
Okay, good. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting our top 5 TV characters.
Yes.
You want me to go first? Or you want to go first?
You can go first. I need one last look at my list.
Oh my God, you jabroni.
Dude, if
Jabroni of the week!
If they want to polish Stranger Things, I gotta polish my list.
Alright, fair enough. Okay, I'll start off. My number 5, Roger the Alien from American Dad.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah, so this is like obviously a cartoon character, but there's something about like him as a character and like what they can do with him. Essentially, for anybody who hasn't watched the show, like the guy, like the father in the show, American Dad.
Yeah, it's an animated show.
He works for the CIA. An alien came down, and they were going to kill this alien, and he saves them, and then the alien lives in his attic. But this alien's like super flamboyant, and he always has these different personas because he can't go out as an alien, so he like dresses up in costume. But every episode he's got a different costume. He's a different character. He's a different like whatever, and it just creates like so many good storylines that you can do with this character because you can literally make him into anything you want every single episode. So there's like so much you can do with it, so much variety, right? He can be anything. I just like it's fascinating. He's hilarious too, and he's voiced by Seth MacFarlane.
I like that reasoning for picking that character.
Yeah, it's just like
it helps the show.
Yeah, he just pushes
good.
the show so that you can do anything you want with him, right? Like just because that's the way they created him. It's like it was so smart to do that. That's what I like about him.
All right. My number 5 is also from an animated show. I almost struggle. Maybe it should be higher. I always struggle with these lists, but Eric Cartman from South Park.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't know exactly what it is. First off, I love the voice they do for his character.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's just so funny. Like, yeah, come here, yes. Right? It's just hilarious, especially in the earlier seasons. So good. But this character is like, it's almost like he doesn't give a shit about anybody else.
Yeah.
He only cares about him. Right? But yeah, for some reason they're still friends with him. But on the inside, he's like a big weenie, right? They bug him. He's like, they don't want to play with me. Right? It's just, I don't know. South Park is like very on the nose with the humor, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just really like his character. That's why he made the list. Now the top 5 isn't. We're not saying these are the best.
No, these are just our favorites.
Our favorites,
as it is every week,
which may relate to they are the best in our opinions. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
Eric Cartman.
All right, my number 4 is Joey Tribbiani from Friends. So the thing I like about Joey Tribbiani, and like I think it's the actor too, right? What's his name? Matthew LeBlanc or Matt LeBlanc or something like that.
Yeah, he does a great job.
The thing about him is like he's so stupid on the show. He's like this guy who's just an idiot, but it's so like the way he does it's so convincing that you like truly believe that this character is that stupid. You know what I mean? There's a lot of TV shows where you get the dumb character and like it's whatever, but like he makes you believe it, like that he is really this dumb and like just there's so many just little funny scenes, little things he says that just make me die laughing. It's just so funny.
It, like straddles the fine line where you're not like this person's so dumb they couldn't exist.
Exactly,
it's believable.
It's like it's this weird thing where it's like, oh my god, he's so dumb, but it's still somewhat believable that he is that dumb because he just portrays it so well, right? So yeah, he's my number 4.
My number 4 from The Office, Michael Scott.
Oh.
Now, I don't think you're a big fan. I don't know if you have.
I've never watched
The Office, but Michael Scott's another one that, like, his character is just so unique, right? Like, when he left the show, I can't remember what season it was. I stopped watching.
Yeah.
Because he was just so... Steve Carell, because he wanted to leave the show. His character is just so integral to the show.
Yeah.
He's, the manager of this branch of, like, a paper company, Dunder Mifflin, and he's like socially awkward. He like doesn't understand a lot of stuff. But like he wants to be liked by his peers like so bad. It's just so funny. There's one of the best episodes ever is he burns his foot on his George Foreman grill. Okay, and you're like, how the hell does that happen?
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, you know what? I'm a distinguished guy. I like the finer things in life. So I plug my George Foreman grill in. Before I go to bed, I set it on a timer. I lay out some bacon, so when I get up, I get to smell the fresh crackling bacon, right? He lets you into his head, right? And you can see his whole thought process, and you think, this guy's a maniac, right?
Yeah.
So then he gets up, steps on the George Foreman grill, burns his foot,
right?
So then, of course, he's milking the injury for all the sympathy for workers and stuff. He's just a really unique character.
Okay, gotcha.
He makes the show.
All right. So my number 3 is Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. So you've watched How I Met Your Mother, so you get all this. There's just like something about him that's so like funny, and he's just so like outlandish and wacky, like. And he's like, I don't want to say it's almost like Roger the Alien because it's not, but he's another character you can do a lot with, right? He he portrays himself as this like suave guy who can get all these girls and stuff, but it's just like a bit of a womanizer, right? But like the way they go about it's just so funny. He's just like so ridiculous, like with everything he does, right?
Because it's almost borders on the line of like the fantastical, right? It's like there's no way somebody like this could really exist.
Exactly, yeah.
Because he's so outlandish, but yet he can get any woman he wants.
Exactly, yeah.
He's got this amazing job.
He's got like the playbook. He's like the ultimate player in a sense, right? He has the playbook with all the different plays to get chicks and stuff. It's just like so funny because they just make him like to the extreme playboy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he goes for the perfect week.
Yeah, but he's so like stupid at the same time, or like such like a weirdo at the same time, right? Like, I don't know, he's a funny character.
Good choice.
Thanks.
My number 3. I'm pausing because I'm debating on swapping.
Oh, come on.
My number 3, I will go with Don Draper from Mad Men.
Oh, okay.
Now, I talked about Mad Men on the when we did the top 5 TV shows. I think I had that at number 2. And Don Draper's the main character. He's like an ad executive from, working at this big ad agency on Madison Avenue. Now, the reason I picked Mad Men before for that list is because it's just such a fantastic show, but it all comes down to how good its characters are. Yeah. And Don Draper is like, this shitty guy, right? He's like, probably drinks too much, right? He's kind of an alcoholic, right? He like sleeps around even though he's got a family and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like you should want to just be like, oh, what the hell? This guy sucks.
Yeah.
But yet he just has that suave charm to him that you kind of root for him as you watch the show.
Right.
And like different things happen to him throughout the show, and it's just such a good show. You really should watch. But Don Draper is just such an interesting character. It's like he always just has that commanding presence.
Yeah.
Right. He like kind of bumbles into work. Right. He's not on time. Whatever. Not prepared for the meeting. But then the other employees are messing it up, and Don comes to the rescue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He just fixes everything, but yet at the same time he's unreliable. He's just fantastic character.
I got you. Yeah.
Don Draper, number 3.
So it's kind of funny because that almost leads into my next pick, but number 2, which is Harvey Specter from Suits.
I knew this one would make your list.
Oh, for sure. I'm surprised he's not number 1, but I got a better number 1. No, Harvey Specter is like the for me anyway. I didn't watch Batman. He's the coolest, he's so suave. Everything about him is just so cool. He's always in the perfect suit and everything. And it's again like you said, right? He's a bit of a dick. He's he's kind of causing problems, but he's like the best lawyer at the same time, right? And he's always getting stuff done. He's just like anybody who's watched Suits just understands it, right? He's just so cool. And they filmed that show in Toronto. My dad, they were filming right across from his work, and my dad took a picture of him from across the street. I don't know if I ever showed you that.
You did. I think you were standing by a hot dog stand.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Harvey Specter. That's kind of it. I just think he's an awesome character. And pretty much almost everything you mentioned about Mad Men, it sounded very similar to what he was like. So there you go.
Good choice.
Thanks.
My number 2, Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones. Now, there's a lot of good characters in Game of Thrones. I had a tough time trying to pick only one. I could have picked multiple, but I tried to, not pick more than one from the same series. Now, Tyrion Lannister is interesting. I know you've never watched Game of Thrones, but I know some.
Who is that? Is that Kit Harington?
No, Tyrion Lannister.
Well, that's Jon Snow, right?
Yeah, Kit Harington.
Is he the midget?
He's they call him the Imp on the show.
But is he the midget?
Peter Dinklage.
Oh, Peter Dinklage. Okay, yeah.
Plays a character, and I've read some interviews and stuff with George R. R. Martin, who wrote the books that turned into the movies, and his whole thought process, and his favorite character on the show is actually Tyrion as well, is that he's like the ugliest man in the world, right? Because he's now on the show he's Peter Dinklage, right? But in the books he's got this weird sort of shaped head, and he's got one different colored eye, and he's kind of like an ugly guy, right? But George R. R. Martin's philosophy was he's the ugliest man in the world, but yet he's also the smartest. He's the most clever.
Okay, right.
So what makes this character so good is that he's kind of this standout guy, right? He comes from the the Lannister family. They're very esteemed, very royal. His dad is the head of this powerful house in the Seven Kingdoms, and yet totally despises his son.
Yeah.
Right? So he kind of and he's ostracized for being the imp, right? So he kind of has that as his armor, right? So on the outside he's this sort of more brooding character, but on the inside he's so clever, and he just kind of gets where he is in the world by being outwitting everybody,
right? Being smarter than everybody.
Being smarter than everybody, right?
Okay,
so
gotcha.
And he just has a great character arc through the show too.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Oh, I guess honorable mentions next.
Oh yes.
Okay, so my honorable mention.
Limiting to just one?
Yes.
Okay.
Just one. My honorable mention is Ross Geller from Friends. Now, I know I chose another Friends character, but they're just in the honorable mentions, so I think it's okay.
Dude, you could have done the top 5. You could have done them all and just left Chandler off the list. Or whoever your least favorite is.
Yeah, I guess it's him. I don't know. The thing about Ross is, what's so funny about him is, he's such a nerd, but he thinks he's, so cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He thinks he's, so cool. And, even when he says stuff back when I did karate, but he's so serious about it, what he's saying, right?
Because that's the proper way to
do it. Exactly. Everything he does, he's so proud. It's just he's just such a funny character. Everything about him, I don't know. I just like him. I'm really tired right now, so I'm having a hard time describing why I like any of these people.
Just related, I was randomly just watching TV the other day,
Yeah.
Or, well, I should say randomly flicking through the channels. I'm like, well, I'm watching TV. It's so random.
So random.
And an episode of Friends was on when he accidentally breaks the little Girl Scout's leg. So he has to try to sell all the cookies.
Oh, yeah. To
get her a trip to space camp.
Oh, it's such a...
Great show.
Such a good show.
Right. My honorable mention, I had a couple on here, but I got to go with Squidward.
Whoa!
From SpongeBob SquarePants.
Wow.
Now, the reason I
did not see this one coming.
Mention, right? Try to keep them on their toes. Is because I can really relate to Squidward, right? SpongeBob's just getting on his case. He's annoying, right? Like, Squidward's got to go and work at the Krusty Krab. He's underappreciated by Mr. Krabs.
Yeah.
But yet he has his simple passions, right? He loves, painting, being an artist. Loves playing the clarinet, right? He just wants to be on his own and relax.
And SpongeBob and Patrick are just bothering him all the time.
And nobody will leave him alone.
That's a good one, actually.
So I feel you, Squidward.
All right, I like that one.
Plus, also, he's a squid, right? So
I like squid.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay, my number one.
Squidward Tentacles was his full name.
Yeah. My number one is Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy. Now, he's like the main character of the show, pretty much. He starts off the show as the vice president of the Motorcycle Club. By season 5, he becomes the president. I've kind of already given it away, obviously, that he kills himself in the end. But just the characters themselves, it's just like so badass. And like the whole thing is like the Motorcycle Club. It's like it's so cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just like maybe it's just a guy thing, but like you watch it and like you just think like I want to be part of a Motorcycle Club. That's it. I want to get the jacket. I'm gonna buy a motorcycle. I'm gonna be a part of this. I want to be just like Jax. And he just like like you say, that commanding presence. You know what I mean? It's like Jax knows everything. Like, oh, Jax will get them out of this. It's not a big deal. And he's like, it's not like he's like a 40 or 50-year-old guy in the show either. Like in the show, I think he's like in his early 30s or something. So he's like a young enough guy. You know, he's got all these people following him in this motorcycle club. I don't know. It's just cool. He's an awesome character. Great character. My favorite.
You cannot go wrong with the cool factor.
Yeah.
I like to think the cool factor is what brings a lot of our listeners into this show.
Definitely. Yeah. All right. Let's hear your number one.
My number one. A character I would not describe as cool, but a man so interesting that George Costanza from Seinfeld. George Costanza just very well might be one of the most interesting just characters in fiction that there is.
Okay.
Because he's a simple man, right? Goes and he works at his job, which his job changes throughout the show. But yet he almost sometimes feels like he's a level, above, right? Now, one episode that I like is he has this brilliant scheme, right? Where he's like, here's what I do. I leave my car parked at the office. Boss gets in, he goes, damn, George is already here, right?
Yeah.
He leaves, sees my car still there. He's like, damn, George is working late, right? He's like, it's perfect. So perfect that George is like, I'm going to go away to the cottage, right, for a couple of days. When he's supposed to be working.
Yeah.
Goes with his girlfriend at the time, or fiance, or whatever it is. But then he, I can't remember exactly what it is. Jerry goes by or somebody and says like, oh, there's like a bunch of bird, pooped on the car or something. And he's like, man, you got to take it for a car wash. He's going to know that, I haven't been right? And it's just the little schemes like that.
Yeah,
it's like so interesting. Like, he's just so unique. I can't even think of all the various schemes he has. And apparently George is actually based off of Larry David, who was like the guy who created the show.
Oh, okay.
And a great shame that Jason Alexander, the actor, never won an Emmy for playing George Costanza.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
There we go.
That's my number one. Hands down, my number one choice.
I think a lot of people would probably agree with you. Lots of Seinfeld people out there.
There are.
Yeah, so. All right. That was it. That was the top 5.
That was the top 5.
Send us yours. ScruffCast@gmail.com. Your top 5 favorite characters.
Yeah, did you agree? Did you disagree?
Tell us who you would have put it instead. Let us know.
Yeah, feel free to suggest your own top 5 topics like the listener earlier did as well.
Yeah, I'll say that. We'll do them. Yeah, top 5 animated? I could definitely think of 5.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. There's a lot of good
animated movies. Would that count like
CG
animated movies?
Give me an example.
Shrek.
Oh, yeah. That's animated. Yeah. Yeah, we're not getting to the nitty gritty, like, it has to be hand drawn. We're not doing that. Alright. So, we have a question to ponder for you now for next week. We didn't do one last week, but here we go. We got one. You ready? You want me to say it?
Take it away, Dan.
Okay. If you could know the truth behind any one secret or mystery, what would it be? And this kind of almost ties into the Area 51 thing, too.
Almost.
There you go. Maybe that's your answer.
I'm not gonna waste my answer on that because I'm gonna have a couple 100,000 people figure that out for me in September.
That is true. Good call.
So,
all right. Obviously, that's not gonna be for next week. It's gonna be for the week after.
Yes, 2 weeks from now.
As soon as you hear this, write your ideas down in your notes. Send an email as you're listening or after you're done. Boom! As soon as you hear the song dun 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 dun. You know how the song goes at the end.
I should just sub that in.
That should be the song. And then you hear the little thing John puts in at the end. Boom! You pause it. Get right to your email. Email scruffcast@gmail.com. Let us know your top 5s. Let us know your questions to ponder. Let us know anything. We don't even. You want some advice? We'll give you that too.
Yeah. What's that newspaper thing where it's like Dear Abby or whatever?
I think that's what it is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You can just write in. We'll
Dear
keep it
Scruffy.
anonymous. Dude, just send it to us from junk mail accounts.
Yeah.
Just be like, I'm at work and my boss is really getting on my case, or like, the girl
been grabbing me in the junk for the past 3 weeks.
You've been grabbing me in the junk, and I kind of like it. What do I do?
What do I do?
I'll give you all the advice. I would say that we're probably pretty qualified to give life advice.
Yeah, probably.
Let us know.
Yeah.
And again, that'll be 2 weeks from now. So you'll be hearing this episode on or sometime after the 17th of July. We'll be back July 31st. If it all goes according to plan, who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll retire by then. But
we might, yeah. But send us those emails anyway.
Send us
just
those
in
emails.
case. You never know.
Just about literally whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
All right.
Tell your friends. I know you got friends. Tell them.
Tell them about your guilty pleasure, which is the ScruffCast.
Yes.
All right. I think that's it. That's it for today's episode.
That'll do. This one better tide you over for 2 weeks. Hopefully the audio was okay.
Yeah, hopefully it wasn't that bad.
If it was bad, email us and let us know. Just send us emails. Come on.
Yeah, we need space fillers. All right. That's it. That's the end of episode 61 of the ScruffCast. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you next week.
As I'm watching her go, all I'm thinking is, oh damn that bad thing. I can tell you're really good at distracting.
You got the native Indian sitting there eating chicken wings.